Muted. I am back with a guest, Thomas. Will you say something real quick? Mic test.
Yep.
Okay, good enough. Yeah. Okay. So we did a little bit of off camera discussion about these so far. We're moving always should always happy to Gaming Legend. There's no downsides about this guy, only upsides.
True.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go next. I've been just kind of picking them randomly. I'm actually just going to rip the bandage off Courage JD. I don't understand this one too much. I watched both the video this tier list came from and the ranking every type of guy. I still don't get it. My best guess, all they said is that this is someone who puts ads on their Twitter videos. All I know about him is that he kind of plays Call of Duty and he has 100 Thieves. Not sure. My guess is this is like the business guy of gamers who's always like trying to monetize what they're doing and always talking about games as like investment vehicles or like the budgets and how much games have made type guy. That's kind of what I'm forcing on the Courage JD here.
My issue
Yeah.
with this is I also don't know because I get like I understand a rough and I mean rough outline of what they're trying to get at. But
Yeah.
because I did watch Courage JD a little bit
Yeah.
when he was like I guess during like COVID times, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When he was like with Valkyrie and
Yeah.
Beasley
And they were like just kind of starting the 100 Thieves shit.
yeah. He seemed like literally any other YouTube content creator.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's changed because I haven't really watched anyone from
Which-
the teams in like 2 years.
Which is now I'm now taking Courage JD away. I'm stripping the name from this. Is I'm just making this the guy who's just always talking about the financial aspects of video games, whether it's the budget, how much the game is made, and that's like the only thing that matters or makes a game good.
Businessman.
And I think this guy either goes in net minus or whack playlist.
I'd say net minus.
Net minus, yeah. I don't like talking to this person in real life if that's the only thing they're doing, and also financial shit has ruined a lot of good games, and we hate that. And so yeah, we'll go to net minus. Next up, two console gamers. Someone who just only ever plays Xbox. Now this is different from like the
PS4?
or PS4. This is different from the guy who only plays sports games and the guy who only plays COD games. So this is kind of like your variety console gamer. He owns Game Pass or PS
Yeah.
Plus.
I know one of these guys.
Runs the shit. Yeah, I'm used to be one of these guys. Still kind of am, just on the computer. What are we thinking about this guy?
From the guys that I like talk to that are like this, they're kind of harmless.
I think I agree.
They're just like they're just like regular gamers that just don't want to like play PC games or mobile games. And
Yeah.
a lot of people actually probably started out like this as well.
Yeah.
Where because consoles is kind of just like where you begin gaming. Most people game their gaming career rather than like
Tosses.
mobile games or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatnot. Yeah.
No, for sure. I think
They're
they're
not, like,
harmless.
They don't do anything wrong, but they don't really.
They don't really
like-
contribute to the culture, and as far as the games they like pay and buy, they could just kind of do those same games on a computer most times, and it'd be fine. Yeah, okay. Let's go FGC Globetrotter. Okay, so I think I explained this one to you. For those who don't know, this is the guy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be fighting games, although they took it like this, but this is someone who is semi-competitive at any kind of game genre. Yeah, man. But they're not that great. And then new game will come out in that genre, and then so they move to that game and become semi-competitive in that game. And because no one else has really played it yet, they're like one of the best, even though they aren't for very long. So they essentially just farm like 15 minutes of fame in every game that comes out. For example, a version of this that's like not fighting games is like recently, dude, so many failed Overwatch pros became Marvel Rival esports pros like day one or whatever, like already started teams and like did tournaments. And now, from what I understand, 2 months have passed and they're all dog shit. They're not even like high up on the ladder anymore. Like, I kind of hate this guy. I hate this person individually, but I don't know if they're bad for the like culture. Because at least they kind of give hype to these new games a little.
I would almost actually put them at net positive.
Yeah.
Because even though, yes, they do like jump around games and like try to be good, I guess, at the game at the very beginning when not a whole lot of actual players
Yeah.
play, it does, as you say, bring people essentially, because these people do have like a following, kind of. It does
Yeah.
bring attention to that game. It does help attract more people to the game.
Yeah, and also for the most time, I feel like they're not even aware that they're doing it like that. They're not like toxic about it either.
No,
Like
no.
they're just like, oh, new game came out of my genre, let's go play it. And they're kind of like pro-ish, and that's all they know. So they're like, I guess I'll do weird pro stuff in this game, and then they fall off and they go, oh well, next game.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, I think I agree. I think it's a net positive. Let's go sports only's next. Someone who only plays Madden 2023 or 2024, and then 2025, and then maybe even 2026.
Anyone that doesn't play FIFA but plays Madden is immediately jail.
True. Uh, yeah. Do you actually know any of these people?
People who only play sports?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do as well. And my dad is one of these people.
I was gonna say,
He only plays NBA, and that's all he ever plays.
that does seem like the type of guy.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You organizing to ones we're going like in order?
Yes. It's pulling them out. I don't have to think about it later.
This guy.
Yeah. So I feel like there's three versions of the sports guy, right? There's a guy who just never really played video games, has an Xbox or whatever, and then just decides that he likes sports, so he's playing Madden. That's it. Now, there's a second kind of guy, and this is kind of like the group my dad falls into, is where he played basketball in high school, and then he kind of plays NBA to like relive his glory days of the sport, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there's the third guy who is like gets way too into it, especially in FIFA, and is just like a gambler. You know what I mean? Like they're always trying to min max everything and like farm like
The sweats.
the
Yes.
sweats in that sense. In Are those categories different enough where they would be different on the tier list, I guess? Because for me, I don't particularly like any of them. But they also, culture-wise, are just kind of in their really, like, only sphere. They never really cross over except maybe COD. So they're kind of harmless to me. I don't know.
I will say, there's another type of sports only gamers that I've met. Weirdly at this school, kind of almost.
Yeah.
Where they almost think that sports is like better than any other game because it's not like, because like there's a lot they think like
You're right.
FPS games like that's brain dead or like
The sports supremacy.
any anime type
Yeah.
games or gacha games like cringe or like you play Halo and whatever, that's like brain rot.
Yeah.
games. And sports is like, at least it's actually based off of like, a real sport.
Yeah.
And it's not, so it's, there's like real life applications to it. Maybe you can learn tactics or whatever. I'm like, kill yourself, one, and two, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But there are people like that.
So they think because they can play like the pre-listed plays or whatever in the game that like it's more valuable
Yeah.
or something like that. No, for sure.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, net minus, even whack playlist.
Yeah,
But overall, I would say they're pretty harmless.
I would say they're pretty harmless.
There's also another subsect of these guys, and it's only the Rocket League players, and those guys are net positive.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think
let's not go a little that far. Let's not.
I think they're doing their own thing, but they also hit sick clips sometimes, and they're fun to watch, and so it's good enough for me. Moist Critical Esports, baby. Rocking it.
To be fair though, right?
Yeah.
That's not just Rocket League. You just don't understand other sports, so you don't know what's up.
They never farm. Yes, I've gone to LSF and seen the sick clips.
Nah,
They're
you just
not
don't get
sick
it.
clips.
You're not a true,
A true sport
gamer
head?
athlete.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, I think they're mostly most people who are like most of the categories that we kind of categorize these sports only people in.
Yeah.
most of those categories, like generally, are just
Pretty harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep to themselves. They kind of have their own little community. They don't really branch out or anything.
Yeah.
Which means they don't really get into drama with anything. So
Yeah, no. And even also like the sports streamers are also kind of weirdly like segregated in that sense too. Okay, next guy we have is the table slammer.
boy,
Yeah, and this isn't just like the rager, but yeah, this is someone who slams the table, punches the monitor.
yeah.
Jail? I don't know. I normally, on average, hate talking to this person. And I don't. Oh, well, okay, that's a lie. I guess they kind of do add stuff, provide to the culture a little. It's just hard because like
but they also take away from
Yeah.
the experience.
so table slamming occasionally can be really funny. And also it could be a very like if it's something that's actually kind of high stakes, like for example, like if you're in a fighting game and you're on Evo or whatever and you slam the table, it kind of adds to the story a little, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But for the most part, if you have to actually like be in a room with this guy, it's fucking miserable because you realize that people who table slam don't do it every now and then when something really fucked up happens.
They're constant.
Their fingers always on the trigger. They're ready to slam any moment.
Here's the issue though.
Yeah.
With putting them at like jail.
I don't think they're actually jail.
Is that when you're not in the room with them, they're actually okay.
Yeah,
Like they can be annoying,
yeah,
but that's almost exclusively only when you're within like hearing distance.
Yeah.
Within like if you're in like a different room or like just not in the house or whatever, you kind of find it funnier than you do like
Yeah.
annoying.
My Dylan is a table slammer, and it's very funny because I'll be spectating him and I watch him either fuck up or get shit on or something, and then I just hear a fucking and he goes, "I broke my mouse." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's good. It's a good bit."
And they are like
So
they're
yeah.
extremely passionate people about the game or whatever,
Yeah,
which actually makes them one of the better like people to get into the game with.
yeah.
Sometimes, not all the time.
So yeah, as long as there's not like an overlap with the always shit, always mad guy. Like if they're just sometimes shit, always mad guy, I think it's better. Would you go as far to say net minus or harmless? Like where would you feel on this?
I think that they're the question is like, right? Does it cancel out? Does the negative cancel out? With the fact that they're like just kind of passionate, so they make it kind of fun sometimes.
Would the world be a better place if no one slammed the table again?
I don't think it would be.
So then we gotta put it in at least harmless.
Yeah, I think it would.
We'll also add another amendment though. It really sucks when you have this guy on your setup.
Yes.
It is the worst. You
Yes.
can't trust these motherfuckers. Also, after further talking, I'm moving the Goat Evil to net minus. Because we did talk where like especially about Sinatra, where
his mind, guys. That was all me.
yeah. Where Sinatra
changed my mind, so Sinatra the go.
Sinatra did, even though he's like a terrible, annoying piece of shit who like divided the esport community.
Whoa. Don't
did-
talk about my humble king
Did
like that.
still make a story, still add a little bit of spice to esports. My camera is bugging the fuck out. We good? Nope. Uh
Maybe don't insult
oh.
my humble king, you know?
That's bad. Do you mind following the cord and unplugging it and replugging it back in? I'm dying. My camera is dying.
What the hell? Cable management, bro.
It's